Hey everyone, it's Tori and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. For today's video, we're going to be setting up my bullet journal for November 2024. As you can see from my planning page, I'm doing a moving theme this month, and that's because I'll be moving into a new apartment at the end of this month, which I'm so excited about. But first, let's take a look at my bullet journal spreads from last month. For October, I did a lunar witch theme featuring this ephemera pack from Ink and Page Journals on Etsy, and if you missed that plan with me, I will have it linked in the cards for you to check out. I can't get over how gorgeous these art prints are. And now let's hop into my supplies that I'll be using in this video. I'll be using a ton of my go-to bullet journal supplies this month, like my Tombow dual brush pens, plus a few more colors in addition to what I'm showing here, my Sakura Pigma Micron fine liners to write and outline doodles, this Zig Clean Color dot marker in the color Fawn makes an appearance for bullet points in my dashboard spread. I'm using this green washi tape from Amazon in a couple spreads, and also my alphabet stamps that you all know and love. I also use some sticky notes and craft paper in a lot of my spreads that I didn't show here, but I'll have those linked down below with everything else, along with my ruler, corner rounder, tape runner, that kind of stuff that you'll see throughout this video. I always get questions about those, so I'll have them down below. And without further ado, let's hop into my November cover page. So as previously mentioned, I'm doing a moving theme because I'm finally moving into an apartment at the end of November. I've been actively trying to move out of my parents' house for probably about 2 to 3 years at this point, but the stars just weren't aligning until recently. If you've been around here for a while, you probably remember I was actually supposed to move near Boston, which is where my boyfriend's family is from, but everything was just too expensive in that area and we weren't really loving our jobs at the time either. So last fall, I basically found my dream job in my hometown, and my boyfriend ended up moving here to live in Connecticut with me. He also found a job that he really enjoys as well, so after a whirlwind of changing plans left and right, we finally feel like we're ready to settle down and get our own place. We found a little 2-bedroom townhouse in the center of town that's basically within walking distance of both of our jobs and only like 10 minutes from my parents, so I'm really excited to start this new chapter of our lives. And also have my own dedicated craft room / office space. That's probably what I'm most excited about. So yeah, that's a little story behind why you're seeing a bunch of moving boxes on my cover page. The dimensions are all wonky because I'm not an artist, and trying to be semi-realistic is hard when you're not an artist, but I really love how this turned out anyway. And I know you all love when I do doodly themes, so I hope you appreciate my efforts nonetheless. I added some craft paper at the top and bottom of the spread to give it a little extra flair, and I really wasn't loving how the writing on the boxes turned out, so I grabbed my white sticky notes and my 0.8 micron to emphasize what box holds items for what room of our apartment. So after fixing those up, that is my cover page complete, and we're moving over to the left side, which is my dashboard. I'm starting out my dashboard with making a mini calendar for November, and I found these number strips recently that I used a lot last year in my journal, so I used them a lot throughout this plan with me as well. Numbering is very tedious, so this makes everything a lot easier. I'm also penning in boxes for my goals at the top of the spread, and those are for everything I want to read, crochet, and cook this month, as well as a section titled Other for any other goals I'd like to accomplish in November. The larger box below them is for a master to-do list, and my doodle at the bottom of the spread is an old-looking key and a welcome mat to go along with my moving theme this month. So after stamping out the November header over the calendar and adding headers to my goal boxes and to-do list, that is my dashboard spread complete, and we are moving on to my habit tracker. I started out this spread by stamping out habits on a craft paper sticky note, and along with the number strips I also found these 30 space habit grid stickers, which are perfect for this 30-day month. So I used 8 of those on this spread to keep track of my habits. I got a comment on my Instagram recently about the amount of habits I track, thinking it was too much. But having 7 to 8 habits generally is personally perfect for me. I feel like people forget that this is like my personal journal, and if they want to have a habit tracker in their own journal, they're free to track however many habits they want. Nobody's telling you how many habits you should be tracking. Or even no habits at all if this tracker doesn't work for you. But that's the amazing thing about bullet journaling. You can set up a system that works just for you. In the bottom corner, I decided to doodle this hand truck with a couple moving boxes on it, and I added some arrows and fragile labels, that kind of stuff. I think it turned out so cute. And after coloring everything in, that is my spread complete, and it's time to move over to the right, which is going to be my gratitude log. I have a grid layout for this spread as well, which is inspired by Tracy Tyler Revel here on YouTube. Each box is 8 dot grid spaces across and 3 dot grid spaces down, and this layout fits 30-day months perfectly. I write one thing I'm grateful about every day, and I try to vary writing what I'm grateful about each day so it doesn't get super repetitive and I can broaden my gratitude beyond just family and friends. At the bottom corner, I added a little tuft of grass because I thought it went along well with the grass underneath the hand truck on the habit tracker over on the left. And that is my gratitude log all finished. Let's move on to my stress and health log. On the left side, I have my stress and health log, and I've been getting a lot of questions about what exactly I put on this spread since I blur it out in every single video. This is just so I have space to write about what I'm stressed about each day, and any health-related things will go next to the corresponding day at the bottom. So in the stress section, I could just write things like work, or like what specifically was stressing me out at work. And in health, I typically write headache, stomach ache, period if I got my period that day, or just none if everything seemed normal that day. So that's my stress and health log complete, and it's time to head over to my anxiety tracker. Okay, so for my anxiety tracker, I knew I wanted to do something doodly, but I had no idea what to make for it to go along with my moving theme. I almost did like 30 moving boxes all stacked up, but I usually color code my anxiety levels in my key, and I didn't really want to have like 4 different colored boxes. I have absolutely no idea how I came up with drawing strings of 30 light bulbs on this page and thinking it was a good fit for the theme, but here we are. I think I blame it on Stranger Things because I've been rewatching that show recently, and light bulbs are a really important part in that show because that's how the kids communicate with people from the upside down. Yeah, I don't know why I settled on light bulbs. So like I said, I've got 30 of them hanging around, and I'll color it in based on how high my anxiety gets each day, and you'll see a key at the bottom later that has different colors for none, a little, a lot, and panic if I had a panic or anxiety attack. Under my million light bulbs, I drew a chair and a plant for a little apartment living room setting kind of thing, and now that I'm watching back this video while editing, I feel like my spreads kind of go in a storyline. Like the cover page is me packing everything up, the hand truck doodle on my habit tracker is me moving everything in, and my anxiety tracker is everything all set up. Even though I definitely won't have 30 hanging lights in my apartment. And I don't own a chair that looks like this, and I've killed every plant I've ever owned. Let's just pretend the storyline is a lot cuter than how I'm making it sound. I don't know what I'm getting at, if we're being honest, I'm just rambling. But yeah, I'm just coloring everything in and adding in some final touches now. It's time to head over to my last spread of this setup, which is my monthly review. My monthly review is a place where I kind of sum everything up at the end of each month. I'm adding in more of that craft paper at the top of the spread, and my other headers are going to be from that same craft paper sheet because my sticky notes that I've been using for the headers in my other spreads are a little bit lighter brown, and I wanted everything to match in my monthly review spread. In my remembering section, this is a place for me to put monthly highlights and a Polaroid picture I took during November. My loving section at the bottom left is a place for me to write everything I've been loving during the month that aren't already in the categories of watching, reading, or listening to over on the right. I stuck down all the darker craft paper headers that I was talking about, and those are for the media I've been consuming this month in the sections of watching, reading, and listening to, as I mentioned before. My watching section has 3 TVs for me to write a movie I loved, TV show, and YouTube channel. For reading, I have a space to write 3 books I've read this month, as well as stars to fill in my personal star rating of each book. The bottom right page, I have a couple things shoved together. I have a section titled Listening, which is where I'll write a few songs or albums that I've been listening to this month. And there's a box with a ball of yarn to write something I crocheted. And below that is a box with a spoon to write something I cooked. After adding in some finishing touches to the spread, that is my monthly review complete, and we can get ready to do a final flip through of my November plan with me. We are now entering the final flip through portion of today's video, and I want to encourage you all to comment down below what your theme is for November this year, and also a light bulb emoji if you made it to the end for my chaotic anxiety tracker. I really appreciate you all. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe while you're here. Also, don't forget to check out my bullet journal social medias. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!